back to our discussion on factors affecting pricing. In our last session, we understood what were the internal factors affecting pricing. In this discussion, we will concentrate on what are the external factors which affect pricing. By external factors, we mean factors which cannot be directly controlled by the organization. These factors, more or less, are beyond the purview or beyond the control of the organization. The organization has to manage these factors. It cannot afford to control these factors. What are these factors? What are these external factors which affect pricing? Let us understand these one by one. The first is demand. What is the relationship your product's demand shares with price? Does it have an elastic relationship? When you say elastic relationship, it means that once you increase the prices, the demand for your product falls. If this is the case, it is wiser not to increase prices. It is wiser to keep a low price. Because the moment you increase prices, the demand for your product falls. Now, if your product has an inelastic demand, which means that whatever be the price, people will buy it. If that is the case, then you can afford to keep a higher price. So your demand is one of the primary factors, external factors which will influence your price. Let us move to point 2. Point 2 says competition. Is there any life without competition? No. So in the case of business, it will be more so. There is competition. There is bound to be competition. Once competition comes into the picture, you have to be very careful with regard to your price. You increase your price, your competition walks away with your customers. You reduce your price, it should not affect your profitability. So you have to have a very careful eye on how your competition prices its products. Depending upon your observation and analysis of how competition prices its products, you will have to fix up your prices. You will have to factor in what the competition is doing, how are they pricing their products, and then decide accordingly. So second external factor which affects pricing is competition. Let's move to point 3. Point 3 says distribution channels. Now, what do you mean by distribution channels? Distribution channels refers to the whole lot of middlemen who line up the route from the production point to the consumer's end. This can be wholesalers, this can be retailers, this can be C&F agents, this can be commission agents, this can be delivery agents. All these retailers, all these middlemen will have a bearing on the price. Generally, longer your channel, you'll have to increase your price. The shorter your channel, you can afford to reduce the price. So point number 3, distribution channel is the third external factor which affects pricing. Let's move to point 4. Point 4 says general economic conditions. The conditions prevailing in an economy will definitely have a bearing on the price. Now, is your general economic condition a factor which can be controlled by your organization? Definitely not. These are macroeconomic conditions. You will have to factor these in as and when they happen. Take the case of a situation where inflationary conditions persist in a market. In the case of inflation, you find that too much money is floating around. Less number of goods are being produced. In such a case, you'll have to pay or you'll have to fix up a higher price. Conversely, if there is a recession in the market, lots of goods are lying around, money supply is less, definitely you'll have to fix up a price which is below normal, or what you used to get earlier, you'll have to fix up a lower price. So your macroeconomic conditions or general economic conditions also affect your price. This can happen cyclically, or this can happen by an action of the government. If the government withdraws certain currency notes from circulation, there is a reduction in money supply. Various sectors of the economy are affected. Prices come down. This happened and continues to happen if you have a look at the real estate scenario in our country. Post demonetization, the sector has been witnessing lower prices. So, macroeconomic conditions are yet another external factor which will affect pricing. Now, let's move to the last point. This is government policy. How does government policy affect pricing? Primarily in the form of taxes. If the government increases taxes on certain sectors of the economy, on certain sectors of the industry, goods which are coming from that particular sector, goods which are coming from those industries which are taxed heavily, definitely will have to increase their prices. They'll have to pass these higher prices on to the consumers or customers. In certain cases, the increase in tax will be absorbed by the companies. More often than not, any increase in taxes are generally passed on to the customers. There are also instances when the government decides to step in and regulate prices. Let's take the case of drinking water as an example. Very recently, due to the extreme high temperatures prevailing in various parts of the country, the government has decided in Kerala to reduce the price of packaged drinking water from 20 rupees. It became 15. Now it has stabilized at 13 rupees. So 1 liter of drinking water now costs 13 rupees. This is an instance of direct action by the government on the pricing front. Organizations or companies have no other option but to comply. Water has been declared as an essential commodity. This is an example of government policy affecting pricing. So to summarize, the external factors affecting pricing are 1. Demand, 2. Competition, 3. Distribution channels, 4. General economic conditions, and 5. Government policy. Thus, we have covered in 2 sessions internal factors as well as external factors affecting pricing. Thank you.